from. I'll start from somewhere. The signals on 91.3 Lagos Talks. My name is Oshodi, Adewunmi Oshodi, and very special thanks to Shola Oshonaiki. I'm the director of Josh Leadership. Yes. So I have with me, we're discussing an interesting topic, and it will lead us into 2026. Beyond us saying that we want to do our New Year resolutions and all of that, I think it's becoming a cliche, but it's okay. We've gone to check, and we've come out from the ocean, bringing in, we've we've flown across the ocean, and we've got to bring one of our own and to come and discuss with us on finding clarity. I have with me a highly regarded preacher, teacher, pastor, author, leadership expert, and clarity coach, a former medical doctor. It brings a unique combination of analytical rigor and a spiritual depth to his work, empowering individuals and organizations to achieve meaningful transformation. Now, he's also very passionate about intelligent prayer. Through his teachings, he equips individuals with the tools and strategies needed to engage in purposeful and effective prayer that delivers results. We're not going to church, but we're bringing the church here. While his work spans many domains, his unifying focus is helping people and organizations unlock their potential and achieve lasting impact. He currently serves as the lead pastor of House on the Rock, London. He's a sort of conference speaker, consultant, coach, and author known as the Demystifier and the Clarity Coach. He has an exceptional ability to distill complex truths into practical insights that can be applied to real world challenges. So we're not going to be doing Aspire to Perspire. We're going to be asking critical questions this morning. While I put up a post, on my WhatsApp. Some people who know him were like, "Is he back? Is he back?" I said, "No. We are trying to meet at the ocean point and to ask him, welcome home, partially." And I have with me Doctor. I don't agree with the former medical doctor, but Doctor Temi, Doctor Temi Odejide. Welcome to Signals on 91.3.
Thank you for having me, Oshodi. I'm super happy to be here. Absolutely happy to be here. Happy New Year.
Yeah, to you too. Now, we're discussing finding clarity. And from medicine to ministry. I told you, I said I cannot give you an expo, but what we see is not here. You understand? Now, medicine to ministry, M&M, not MMM, M&M. Yeah. What did the role of clarity play for you?
Well, it played a key role in my transition. When I was about to enter into university, already I had a strong sense of a call of God upon my life to ministry. So it was, my dad muted the idea of going straight to Bible school. My mom was totally opposed to it. Said, no, he's going to university, has to do it. And I was happy to do university. And I was in between two, whether I would go for architecture or for medicine. My dad is a medical doctor. I opted to go for medicine. And I went in to study medicine. But even in university, I was still very engaged in pastoral ministry work while studying medicine. So much so that some people thought that I might not finish medical school, that I might drop out at some point in time and just go and do this ministry thing. But I didn't have such a persuasion. So despite pastoring one of the largest fellowships on campus, that was Great Ife, back in the day.
They said if pastor CLF in Ife then so that they know you.
So that's and even after finishing and graduating, doing my housemanship, I still practiced as a doctor for a few years before such a time as I knew it was time to let go of the active practicing of medicine and focus on ministry. So clarity. Even though I had clarity that I was called to ministry, I also had clarity to seek out the right timing for that transition. And one of the key markers for me was I wanted to wait to such a time where it would be impossible to combine both medicine and ministry. And that would be my indication that it was time to let go of the medicine and focus on the ministry.
Now, in this era of aspire to perspire to Maguire, or all the three words. Follow my train of thought. And in the era where we are bombarded with a lot of information, it's almost an information overload. Everybody is talking. We are talking. People are talking. It's everywhere, right? How then do we pause in the noise of so many things and just be still to find clarity?
Well, you have to take some practical steps. You literally have to stop. Sometimes you have to stop, you have to pause, and you have to introspect.
Mm,
There's so much. What's this person doing? What's that person doing? What's happening over there? Doom scrolling on Instagram, checking what's going on Facebook, TikTok, all of these things, all these externals, so much noise, so much confusion that you lose yourself. So you have to literally stop,
mm,
you know, get off Instagram, shut down TikTok, shut down all of those noises and introspect. Quiet time. Even if you can't get a whole long period of time to retreat somewhere, even just pausing to ponder for a number of minutes every single day to introspect, what am I about? Where am I going? What do I want to achieve? Answering the questions of vision, of purpose, of mission, of what your goals are regularly will help you to be centered and will start giving you clarity and not just being carried by every wind of what's trending now.
How many minutes in a day? Let's even start with how many minutes in a day.
You'll be shocked what 5 minutes of quiet centeredness can do for you. Just 5 minutes. Start with 5 minutes. Then you can extend it. You start growing in capacity to 10 to 15 to 30 minutes. But you don't want to spend all the whole day just centering yourself. You need to get out and get something moving, start doing stuff.
Now, still on that 5 minutes, and we've agreed that 5 minutes of centeredness, when you're in that 5 minutes of centeredness, because I'm sure that along the journey of your life,
Mm,
you've seen people who cannot sit still
mm,
and center themselves. What does it mean to center ourselves first?
mm.
My phone is not with me. I'm not checking. It's almost as if anytime, have you noticed that when people are pressing phone, everybody's head is bowed? The neck like it is bowed. And you're like, Oga, up, up. So
Mm,
what does it mean to, in that 5 minutes of, okay, I'm taking a stroll, what should
mm.
happen in that centeredness, that 5 minute centeredness?
All right. Now, there are various ways in which you can take it. Like you just said, now you could take a stroll. A stroll is a powerful thing. Going for a walk is a powerful thing because it literally does take you out of the digital noise.
Mm,
But it can take you out of the digital noise.
mm,
If you don't take your phone along, and even if you take your phone along, it's a hazard to be trying to be looking at your phone and walking at the same time. So just getting out and walking actually is very helpful on so many levels. Yeah. Now, the Bible is my big reference tool, but I don't look at the Bible the way religiously or mystically. I look at the Bible as a book full of ancient principles that are still applicable today. So the book of Habakkuk talks about writing down the vision and making it plain on the table so that whosoever reads it can run with it. So one of the keys for me in terms of centeredness is to think about what is my vision? What is my purpose? Now, I've done the homework of writing that down somewhere before.
mm,
Now it's bringing it back to mind and then letting that start to birth other thoughts, birth other meditations. That's how I center myself. It's bringing me right back to this is why I'm here. This is where I'm going, and this is how I'm doing it. And I start to make some edits there. Now, of course, for those of us that have a Christian persuasion, our time of prayer, of reading the Bible, of praying what we've just read out of the Bible is also a way of getting ourselves centered and focused.
okay, then. Now, what's the cost of living without clarity, especially for business owners, young people, high performing individuals? What's the cost of living without it?
The cost is crazy. The cost of lack of clarity is stupendous.
Mm,
Um, I love what you do in the Signals marketplace for 15 minutes and for 15 minutes, but every page is supposed to be just 30
30
seconds.
seconds. Yeah, 30
That is powerful indeed. Because when you force somebody to share what he does in 30 seconds, he has to have clarity.
seconds.
He has to have clarity. Sometimes when you need so much time to explain yourself, it means you don't have clarity. But if you have clarity, you're able to, boom, this is what I'm about. This is what I do. This is the question I answer. This is the problem I solve, and you're done. So that's so key. The cost of lack of clarity, it costs us economically,
Mm,
it costs us in time, it costs us in mental space, emotional energy. The cost is unbelievable. The lack of clarity, your business is not clear. You are losing clients every day because of lack of clarity. People that would have engaged with you if they had clarity on exactly what it is that you do. You are losing time because you are not clear on what your next steps are, what you're meant to be doing. So what should you should have covered this much ground, but now you've lost so much ground. You don't have margin because of lack of clarity. We're losing relationships because of lack of clarity. Not clearly define what this relationship is about. So we waste time hurting one another. you know, the cost of lack of clarity is unbelievable. And it's so surprising how simple a thing it is, but how often it is overlooked. I think our world is actually plagued with so much confusion and lack of clarity. You say you are doing a particular thing, but because of lack of clarity, you don't realize that what you are actually about is not that thing you are doing, that there's a higher and a deeper purpose than that.
mm. Okay, this is shattering tables. It's okay. But we're still coming there. I hear you. I honestly hear you, right? And I look at all of us every day, even for me. Every time I'm having to reinvent. So, tell me, what are you doing? What are you doing for a living? If they ask you, what are you doing? Right? And we have so much to say, yet we can't put those words together.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Because it's clarity table now. So let's break it. So that because every time we say elevator pitch and you meet this person, and then how do you it's almost like they point a gun to your head, to literal like head, and they say, so what do you do? The fear, the fear of a job. This is what I do, but I cannot say it. When you're in exam hall and you're writing, I know what to do, but my brain and my head or my mouth or my hands cannot connect to one another.
Hmm.
Now, let me quickly enter into your medical profession and see our brain, our mouth. It's not connecting, There are times where, but even for me, I'm standing, I'm seeing literal numbers, and I'm like, no, this, and then I have to call myself back, and I do that all the time. If I'm already going like this, I'm like, Oshodi, come back home, and that's me.
Hmm.
So many other people too, where you're stuck, and we're saying clarity, clarity.
Well, of course, this is where you can have the benefit of if you have a coach,
Okay.
if you have mentors who help bring clarity, because clarity comes not just one way. One of the key ways is being able to introspect and ask the right questions of yourself.
Mm,
Um, but then when you have a coach, I'm a clarity coach, when you have a mentor, those type of people, they can also help you with bringing clarity because they tend to be able to bring you the right questions, or they're able to even see when you're all over the place. Hey, slow down, come back here, come back here.
mm,
This is what you said you were about. So what's happened now? How come you're chasing that rabbit
mm,
that you're not meant to be chasing? So that will really help us. A lot of the work has to be it's in rehearsal.
mm, mm,
So and rehearsal happens in private. Well, not always in private, but it's something you do by yourself. So a lot of the time, when we are having that challenge between our mental thoughts and being able to articulate it, is because we are caught off guard in the moment. So we hadn't rehearsed.
mm, mm.
So, but in scenarios where you got to have rehearsed before in your private time, in your centered time, to connect that, okay, this is what I'm really about. You made those connections, even though you might feel the emotional tension in the moment when they ask you, because you've rehearsed it, you just brrr,
It comes
it
out.
just starts to roll, and in the midst of it rolling, boom, it now takes on a life of its own.
Mm,
So I advise people to do that homework of the rehearsal of mastering your pitch and not waiting till you are in the moment and then trying to connect it together. No, you should have done that by yourself. And in this day and age, with the help of AI, you can refine so many things so quickly. But make sure that it is your original stuff. You're not saying, hey, but AI, just give, just give me any pitch.
is ironic because when the era of AI and yet people don't want to use AI any longer.
Mm,
When
mm,
the era of AI
mm.
and people don't want to use AI any longer. You're going for events, you're going for businesses, and they're telling you if it is AI, we would know. And then I'm wondering, we have created it. We said everybody should use it. Now you are rejecting it. And I've seen it across board. I've seen not once,
Yeah,
but twice. Even as of yesterday, somebody
yeah.
said, if you use AI, we would know. And I'm like, hey, Joe, what's the problem? But I like what you say in terms of rehearsals. Rehearsals are very important.
Mm,
Rehearsals
mm,
help. So it's okay.
mm,
So for anybody who's going out, rehearsals, just rehearse, just rehearse
mm,
the mirror
mm,
and then
mm,
watch. Now,
mm.
it signals on 91.3. We have a clarity coach. It's the new year. Well, we're not doing resolutions and all of that. If you have questions for him, please have questions. It's clarity. Um, Send us a WhatsApp message 0809-234-5913. You can call us 0704-700-9913. Having worked across different divides in leadership, in business, hospital, how dangerous is speed without clarity?
Oshodi, you got me, you got me, you got me. I will always talk about the cost of lack of clarity.
But I confessed before. I confess. I told you that what I am telling you is not what is going to happen. I confess.
But that question is such an apt question
Mm,
because indeed, um, speed without clarity is dangerous,
mm.
is exceedingly dangerous. There's a wall in front of you, you don't have any clarity, and then you now press the accelerator.
Accident.
That's a crash, that's an accident,
Mm,
that's trouble. you know I mean, in driving, that's the best illustration. You're not supposed to overtake in a place where you can't see clearly what is ahead of you, and then you now overtake and then dastardly accident, and the cost can be you know can be horrendous. So you've got to have clarity before you press the accelerator. It's interesting that in this year, we are thinking in my own community about speed, about God's speed, about executing. It's a go year. Let's go and let's get things done. Let's move forward. Let's achieve that. But there is the need for clarity before you start to rush.
mm,
So we should spend time actually early in the year getting clarity. It's not about having 30 goals,
mm,
even if it's just two or three, but clear goals that you are chasing. People are spending energy and time talking about Venezuela, talking about Gaza, talking about all of this. And I'm not saying those things are not consequential things that we should be interested in, but you can't spend all of your time, man hours, um, talking about things that are far removed from your vision and your goals for the year. You've got to have clarity. You've got to have clarity. Speed without clarity is power without control.
mm, mm,
And power without control only causes problems. It causes damage, you know.
mm,
So you have to have direction. Clarity is about direction. You have to have the direction. And so now you can move fast because you have direction. But if you don't have direction and you move fast, you might be putting yourself into an accident.
Hmm. Now, what do we do when clarity feels delayed?
Um, when clarity feels delayed,
Yes.
we've got to be patient with ourselves. Because a lot of the time, I too, I'm like you, like all of us, we want things fast. We want things we want to achieve and move forward and so on and so forth. But we've got to realize that some things simply take time. And if I'm on the right path, then I should find fulfillment that I am on the right path. The cup is filling, it's not full. But every additional drop inside that cup is bringing me closer and closer to the final outcome. So clarity is not really delayed. What is delayed is our desired outcome. Yeah. Walk in the light that you have now. God will only hold you responsible for the light that you have now. He's not going to hold you responsible for light you do not yet have. That's what and like I told you, the Bible is my major reference to when it says that the path of the righteous shines brighter and brighter unto the perfect day. That means more light. So what light do you have right now? And what are you doing with the light that you have now? Do something with that light. Tomorrow more light is coming. Then you know what the next thing is. Then the next day, more light is coming. And so you are making progress consistently. Every step is bringing you closer and closer to your ultimate perfect day, your ultimate outcome, your ultimate goal. So stop flogging yourself with, oh, it hasn't happened yet. Yeah. Are you on the right path? Then keep at it. Just keep at it. Be patient. It's not delayed, it's coming. Yeah?
Okay, Pastor. Um, his coming is not delayed. Because we are habits, we humans have a habit of
Mm.
I am waiting, and they say waiting and be patient. And sometimes that patience is not patient in enough. And while we're hopeful, what do we do? Because clarity sometimes means waiting,
Yeah.
right? So what do we do in that waiting period? We have the next 365, at least you use some 10 days, 360 days, 360 days, right? And patience is in the culture that you and I are aware of, where the fear of missing out is a problem. People are moving forward. People are asking me, people are asking you, so what's your plan for this year? Anyway, they've asked me, I've told them nothing. And yeah, right. And people are a bit here and there. How do we explain? And I want you to touch a bit about waiting period, because
Mm.
waiting period sometimes a lot of things happen during waiting period, and we feel that nothing is happening. And yet something
Mm.
is happening. And yet something is happening. But because it's not happening on our own term, is now a problem. So
Mm.
that's our
Mm.
waiting period.
You see, the interesting thing about waiting is that I redefine waiting because when I read the Bible, I find out that waiting is not what we think it is. We think that waiting is like you are at a bus stop waiting for the bus to arrive, or you've called the Uber and you're waiting for the Uber to get to where you are. So you are idly sitting down and waiting.
Mm,
But when I study waiting from the Bible, it doesn't actually indicate being idle. It actually indicates a consistent activity in anticipation of a favorable outcome. Now, it is that favorable outcome that is taking time. But I'm not idle. You see, when I'm idly just waiting for something to happen, that's frustrating. My goodness, I'm pulling out my hair. Why hasn't it happened already? Where's this boss? This boss should arrive now. And so on and so forth. But when I'm actively still engaging in doing something, in doing what I know to do, it's no longer idle. I'm occupied. There's less frustration. We've got to learn how to enjoy the journey and not postpone the joy for the ultimate breakthrough and the ultimate outcome. No, even the journey, even the consistency. Weary not in well doing, for in due season you will reap. That consistent grind, if you like, um, I've got to find some joy in it, knowing that it's all adding up. It's all adding up. This study every morning, this meditation every day, this tweaking and refining. It hasn't brought the big breakthrough yet, but it's adding up. We talk about overnight successes. There are no such things. The overnight success was from years of consistency in something that finally yielded the final breakthrough. And if he had given up during the process of refinement, he would never have gotten to the ultimate outcome. So we've got to learn how to keep on keeping on, how to keep on pushing at it. That's what we do during waiting. And then there's some things that are even not in your power. I think a lot of the time when people are talking about waiting, the relationship thing comes into the picture. The relationship thing, marriage, a partner, a spouse, is not really in your power, come to think of it. You can only take care of yourself, do your best, improve your character or whatever. Just keep on keeping up. But that you are the one that is 1 + 1 is equal to 2. No. Why are you pulling out your hair? Why are you frustrating yourself? Do what is in your power consistently. Let God do the rest.
Let God do the rest. I wanted to say that loudly for the people that are at the back.
Let God do the rest. Keep on working on yourself. I'm not saying don't work on yourself. Keep the consistency. Keep what as God is giving you more light of what to do. Keep on doing those things. But don't make it seem like it's all in your power. It's not all in your power. Do the one that's in your power. Let God do the rest.
Okay, let's speak. While still on this conversation, how do we, because people are under pressure. A lot of us are under intense pressure, personal pressure, family pressure, society pressure. How do we reduce the and I was right when I said people are asking me, so what's the plan for this year? Somebody sent me, I say, guy, I'm not doing anything. Right? And that's me speaking for so many other people who are really overwhelmed and outrightly overwhelmed and pressured. How do we, in with clarity, how do we still and tell people when they bring their pressure? Because some of us are outspoken, other people are not outspoken, and we cut across the divide. How do we tell people who are pressured, and I mean pressured, financially pressured, home-wise, office-wise, work-wise? How do we tell them to sit still? That is not in their control.
That's such a good question. And your response is an appropriate response. Maybe not everybody has that audacity and capacity to just simply say, hey, I ain't taking that on. That's your own cup of tea. Me, I'm drinking Zobo. Leave me alone. you know, but it's honestly that is the primary thing you want to do. Do you know? I think that the majority of our pressures are artificial, are not real. They are taken on. We've allowed them. We are even pressuring ourselves. Now, not all pressure is bad. It's good to have a certain healthy level of pressure because there has to be pressure for the wine to be produced, for the oil to come out, and all of that. But let me have genuine, real pressure, and not the artificial or the contrived pressure or undue pressure that I'm putting under myself. If I have done and I'm doing what I'm meant to be doing, then that's it. I'm not going to allow. And then you see, the Bible does talk about us not comparing ourselves with ourselves. I think a lot of pressure comes from comparison. We're constantly comparing ourselves with one another. And because this person has done this or achieved that or the other, then we are under pressure that we've got to achieve the same. Even when we talk about the pressure that comes from family, a lot of the time, sometimes the pressure that's coming from family is also because family is considering what the other family and what other people around have achieved and are doing. So what's wrong with you? Why haven't you done this for our family? It's all external pressure. Meanwhile, each one of us has unique races set before us. So it's actually not wise for me to be comparing my race with your race because they are different races. The footballer is comparing himself with the basketballer. It's different games now.
Mm,
I can be inspired that the basketballer is doing well, but I realize that his game is different from mine. I'm playing football. So these we have to deliver ourselves mentally that no, that's that person's race. My race is different. And
mm,
I'm going to keep on at my race. I've got to start to, with clarity, being able to look at those pressures and ask real questions of those pressures. That is this a genuine pressure, or is this an artificial pressure that is being put on me by society, put on me by my friends, even put on me by my family? Or is it a genuine pressure that I should embrace and deal with? And guess what? Even if it's a genuine pressure that I should embrace and deal with, I'm not alone. I've got my faith, I've got my God to help me handle that pressure. And then I keep at it, I keep on going, and it's going to give way.
mm. Now that thin line, there's a thin line between there's general pressure and one being lazy. That
Mm.
times whereby somebody will say, "Oh, I'm working on it." We have not seen anything. I'm working on it. We have not seen one, two, three. Yeah. So how then I do balance. I do balance.
I
Now,
love it. I love it, Oshidi. I love it because another thing I like to say, or some people they call me the apostle of balance. That every time you hear him, he's going to balance it somehow.
uh-huh.
And you are absolutely on point there. And one has to be honest with themselves.
Mm,
Where am I embracing laziness
mm,
in the guise of I ain't taking on your pressure?
mm,
Look, if it's in a workplace and I have a deliverable that's supposed to be delivered by a particular point in time, bros, you better deliver. If you want to keep that job, you better deliver.
mm, mm,
That is due pressure. If you are going to argue with the outcome or that the timeline was is not an appropriate timeline, it's right from the inception that you tell them that this timeline it's not a practical timeline. I don't see, and you argue. But if you've accepted the assignment and it's meant to be delivered at one point in time, you better deliver. That's good pressure.
mm,
So I'm trying to make that distinction between the artificial esoteric pressure and genuine pressures. Like I said, nothing really good and pressure comes out without some level of pressure. The wine, there was some pressure in the process. The pot, beautiful pot, there was some pressure in the process of making that pot.
mm,
The olive oil, there had to be the olives had to be broken, pressed, and shattered. We like to say the anointing only flows through broken places. So there's some breaking I go through before the anointing starts to flow. So it's just the reality that there's healthy pressure that I must embrace, and in my repudiation of negative and bad pressure, I don't use it as an excuse for
to
laziness.
laziness. Now, what separates leaders who endure who endure from those who burn out?
Let me get that again.
Now, what separates leaders who
Hmm.
endure from those who have a burnout?
Hmm.
So
Burnout.
there's
Mhm.
endurance and then there is burnout.
Yes, I hear you. I have a bit of a different viewpoint on burnout and my concept, my belief systems as regards burning out or not burning out.
Sorry.
Um, I found people, I found people that are working so hard, as in, chai,
They work hard.
they work hard and they are not burning out.
Okay.
And I found people that are working half the level of the other person that is working full out and they're burning out. And I'm finding out that the issue of burning out is not all about the volume of work you are doing.
Mm,
The volume of work you are doing does contribute, but I'm finding out that the heart of burnout is not all about the volume of work that you are doing. It has more to do with your attitude about what you are doing, your sense of purpose, your sense of vision,
Your mental
your
state.
your mental state about what you are doing, and the fulfillment you are drawing from what you are doing. I find that people that are centered, that really what they're doing is so aligned with their purpose, their vision, their mission, rarely burn out. They can get tired because they're obviously working very hard, but being tired is different from burning out. When you are burnt out, you will sleep and wake up and still be tired.
Yes, 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 yes. You
You
will
know,
sleep, you will have headache.
you, in fact, you can even go out, you can take vacation, you come back, you're still burnt out. you know,
Yeah.
But the person that is right in the center of his purpose, his vision, is he can get tired because he really worked so hard and sleep, but he works up. In fact, he's waking up again, ready to go because the passion is there. He's the burning bush that is burning and yet not consumed because he's getting his energy and his strength from a different place, not from the externals. Internally, he's getting his energy, so he's able to keep on keeping on. But you find that people that are burning out are out of place.
Mm,
They're out of place with their vision. They're out of place with their purpose. Um, when I'm talking serious emotion, and I'm trying to balance this because there is clear psychological and even a clinical perspective to burnout. It's a very, very real thing. But I'm finding out that the antidote and the solution is not just reduce the work.
mm,
It's actually center the purpose and the vision. Get that alignment between your authentic self and that which you are engaged in, and you find that all of a sudden you have resources of energy and strength that weren't there before.
mm. It signals on 91.3 Lagos Talks. We're discussing finding clarity with Dr. Temi Odejide, who's a clarity coach. Because this one, we are not entering the house on the rock part, we're entering the clarity coach part. Now, we have I have different diverse audience. So, and I'm going to you're going to help me to help them. Now, for business owners, what should clarity be for them? That's one. For young people who are in a bind of what next to do, what is clarity to them? Question one, two, three, four. Just be counting it like that. For leaders, right? What should clarity be to them? For people who are in between careers, what should clarity be to them? For people who have retired, but they still don't want to retire, what should clarity be to them?
Hmm.
So,
Very, very good questions. And actually, the answer to those questions might be the same across board with some tweaks and some nuances.
yeah.
Finding clarity really at the end of the day is about asking the right questions.
Okay.
you know, Asking the right questions. And those questions have to do with vision, have to do with purpose, have to do with mission, and then goals.
Mm,
It's one of the templates that I use when I'm guiding people through finding clarity. So your vision is where you want to go.
mm,
So vision is where. Your purpose is why you exist. What question do you answer? What problem do you solve? Your mission is what you do to achieve your vision, to arrive at your purpose or to fulfill your purpose. Your goals are all of that broken down into sizable steps that you're taking along the way. So that's a template right there. Um, Purpose, why, vision, where, mission, what, and then goals is the how, the broken down steps to finally get to where I want to get to. So, business owner, answer those questions.
mm,
Those questions. Why does your business exist? Where is your business going? What is the ultimate picture of the preferred future of your business? What do you do? That is the mission. What do you do? What exactly are you engaged in as a business? Have clarity, crystal clarity on these things. And these things will deliver to you what your immediate goals should be, so that you're not chasing everything that is around you and you're not answering questions that are not being asked. So when you have clarity, saying no becomes easy because
Okay.
people are always going to be offering all sorts of, oh, come and do this, come and do that. But now that you have clarity on what you are about, you can easily say, and you're not saying it in an obnoxious or nasty way. It's not simply not aligned with where I'm going. I wish you the best. I might even point you in the right direction of where you might get help, but it's not in my alignment. So I'm going to stay focused on the direction I'm going on. So that might be helpful to the business person there. I think one last advice I would give to the business person is that distinguish yourself. I could tell you all about the whole be productive, multiply, deal with the competition, and all of those kind of things. But basically, distinguish yourself. What makes you unique? What makes you stand out? Why should people come to you and not the other people, the other person? People are doing things that are similar to yours, but what makes yours different? So distinguish yourself. To the young person, right? I think that was the
Yes,
next
yes.
category person. What I'll say to that person is, what do you have?
Mm,
Stop being consumed with what you don't have. Oh, I need this. I need that. Oh, give me that. No, no, no. What do you have? What do you have in your hand? What competence do you already have? What comes naturally to you?
mm,
Start there. How can what you have be utilized? How can what you have add value? The journey of finding purpose, of finding vision, it's a journey. It's not just a one time, I'm going to go and fast for 5 days and I'll come out with my purpose, my vision, and everything. You might do that, but it's still going to get refined because the path of the just shines brighter and brighter. You're going to gain more light that's going to have you edit what you thought you had received before.
mm.
Yeah. What do you have? Don't be consumed about what you don't have. Then think about what you have. Have you found out that every time that God really wanted to work a miracle, it always works with something you already have? He uses Moses' staff. He uses Peter's audacity. He uses Paul's intellect. He uses what you have. So identify what you have and work on what you have. You'll be surprised where it's going to take you to. I could go on and on, but let's not belabor the point. You talked about the next category of people was the
The leaders, the people who are in between careers and they did not retirees. Yeah.
Okay. So for leaders, vision is super, super, super powerful. So because that's the big skill that every leader needs to have clarity of vision. So you've got to have clear what your vision is. But maybe the other questions you now need to ask yourself, who are you leading and where are you leading them to? Where are you leading them to? You're a leader, so where are you leading them to? There are leaders that are leading, and if you ask the leader, where are you taking them to? Well, we are just going. That's trouble. So you have to have clarity. Who am I leading? What type of person am I sent to lead? And where am I leading them to? Those are critical questions for the leader to have very, very clear in his mind. Because there are some people that are not meant to follow you because they're not going to where you are taking them. And you should be happy that they leave you because they are going to cause you problems. They are not going where you are leading. So let them find the leader that is going where they are going. And let the people that are going in the direction that you are going follow you. Yeah. I could say more to the leader too, but let's leave it like that. I don't believe in retirement. My wife is always fighting me on this one. And I understand her argument very well that look, you've got to have a strategy, a plan for the keen years,
Mm,
and so on and so forth. But for me, the vision and the purpose just changes
mm,
as we grow.
mm,
So
mm,
even for the person that is retiring, not retired, in between that phase, he simply still has to ask those questions. So now at this phase of my life, what is my vision? What is my purpose? What is my mission? What are my goals? Generally speaking, the fathers start thinking more about legacy,
mm,
about how am I passing down to the next generation? How can I do that effectively and powerfully? How am I etching down the wisdom that I've gained over decades in a way that it lives long before me, beyond me, so those are the type of questions, and I find that pursuing vision and purpose keeps us going.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of covers it, or is there one more group of
Yeah,
people?
for the people who are in between careers who are also looking for jobs in between careers.
The answer is similar to, you have to leverage what you already have. And what you already have is the last job you had. So you have to retrospect. I have a whole template on retrospection and learning the light lessons. How do I look at what the job I've come out of? What are the lessons I gained from the job that I've come out from? And how can I leverage that in pitching myself for the future? In the in between period, as uncomfortable as it is a wonderful period for introspection, to even ask yourself that, am I supposed to be looking for another job, or am I supposed to be starting a business that employs people? And even if you are going to pivot in that direction, then what do I need to pivot in that direction? But leverage what you already have, leverage the experiences you already have. There's gold there that you've been overlooking because you are crying over the pain of losing that job, not realizing the diamonds that have come out of having gone through that experience.
Okay. Okay. It's a master class on its own. Please, the no, don't mind. Now, in because our time is up, right? And somebody
Yeah.
sent me a question that I'm going to ask you. It says, was there a season in your life where confusion became a catalyst for clarity? Was there a season in your life that became a catalyst for clarity?
Oh, yes. I think that we underrate frustration. Frustration is not necessarily a bad thing. In that way, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's a catalyst. I love the question because the question actually answers itself. The frustration and the confusion is a catalyst to get quiet. Is a catalyst to pull back. Is a catalyst to go and cry to your God and say, God, I need clarity. I beg, God, I beg. Show me the way forward.
Mm,
I like to teach on your marks, get set, go. Yeah. The get set position is the most uncomfortable position.
mm,
On your marks is still relatively relaxed. Go is you're going now, you are fulfilling purpose. Yeah. But that get set, that in between is frustrating though. It's not relaxed. You are not relaxed on your marks, and you're not in full bloom of running. You're just in between. But yet you've got to embrace that period of unsettledness and confusion as a catalyst to prepare you for what you are going to go and do next. So yes, in my own personal experience, I've had seasons where there's been that frustration and that confusion. But I've embraced it as it's part of the process, and it's pushing me towards clarity, and it has often delivered clarity
for you. Okay then.
for me. Mhm.
Now, in one, so I like to do this look back from being a pastor and for all those teacher, pastor, author, leadership expert, and clarity coach. Now, look back from where you're seated and look back to
Mm.
where you're coming from. What do you see?
Growth. I see growth. You see, you get to a place where you gave into your gift. You gave into your gift. You gave. And at the time when you are giving and working on your gift and spending man hours and so much investment into your gift, your competence, your calling, it was laborious. But then you get to a place where your gift starts to give back to you.
Mm, mm.
Um, and so I look back and I say, "Ooh, there's been a transition."
From CLF days.
There's been growth. Yes, yes. That's what I see. And I want to encourage anybody that's out there, keep on keeping on. It's adding up. It's adding up. It's adding up. You won't even understand when the tables just shift and it's like, I do this so effortlessly. but it's the return on the investment of that you made over weeks, months, and years.
Okay, then. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thank
you're
you.
welcome. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So till we come your way again next week, Saturday, like we always say on Signals, dream again, create opportunities for people. And this conversation will be on our YouTube page, YCC Communication. Just type YCC Communications, you will see it on YouTube. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much for sharing your wealth of knowledge in terms of clarity. At least now we know what clarity is. Clarity is taking time, 5 minutes centeredness a day, and finding out what your purpose mission is. And sometimes when you don't hear anything, just be centered, because sometimes it could be laborious in when you are not hearing anything and nothing is coming in. But at least just enjoy your 5 minutes alone time, and you never can tell what will come out of it. So, like we always say on Signals, dream again and stay alive. Please, please stay alive. Thank you very much once again, Dr. Temi Odejide. Thank you and have a wonderful week.
Thank you. God bless you.
And you too. Mm.